Welcome guys to Tech Explorers, and in today's video we'll be running how you can be able to create a bootable disk for Windows 11. If you want to install Windows 11, there are the various ways that you can be able to install Windows 11, and one of the ways, and the one that is mostly used by most people, is by installing using what we call a bootable disk. This is what I have here. This is a flash disk, and this is a flash disk that I'll be using to create a bootable image that is for Windows 11. Then in the next video we can create a video on how now you can go to install that is Windows 11 after you have been able to create a bootable disk. How do you go about it? Let's get started. And now let us proceed to that is creating a bootable disk. And for you to be able to create a bootable disk, you only need two programs, and that is Windows 11 ISO file and a program that will help us create a bootable disk. And you can use, there are several programs that you can use. You can use Rufus. You can also use we call it that is universal, but for this case we are going to use that is Rufus. It is the best and the best choice that is for me. That is what I have been using, that is in most cases, and its usage I have found it to be quite amazing, and therefore we'll just proceed to installing that is to creating a bootable disk using Rufus. But for your case, just because in case you don't have the two programs, I'll leave a link in my video description. So the first link you'll click and you'll be able to download that is ISO file that is from Microsoft, website. So I'll give you a direct link that is to Microsoft, then you can proceed and that is have for yourself that is Windows 11 ISO file. Something else, I'll also leave a link that you can will direct you where you can be able to access that is Rufus. Now that is a program that we'll be using to create a bootable disk, but for my case I already have the programs in my PC, and it is just right here, that is Rufus 2. I'm using 2.2, but on the website there are more versions. We have Rufus 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, so you can just download any version depending on your on your need, or any you can just download any version that will be able to run into your PC. So for this case I'm just going to just double click that is Rufus, and when you double click Rufus you'll be prompted to give it that is administrative access, then proceed. Then you can see now this is a program that we'll be using. This is what we call Rufus. This is how it normally looks like. So here on the part of the device, because you might have attached several devices, that is the flash disk, you need to select the flash disk that you want to create a bootable disk. So for my case I have only attached one, so that's the reason why you find in this download button there is only one, that is flash drive. Then from there you need to, after you select, and the flash drive that you are using should be at least 8 GB RAM. Not RAM, should have at least a space of that is 8 GB, because the ISO file has a space of 4. So after booting it may go beyond that is 4, either 4 or 5, or even at times 6, depending on the version of the ISO files that you are creating a bootable disk. Then we have partition scheme and target scheme. You can either use MBR partition scheme, or you can use that is MBR partition scheme for UFI. Also you can use BIOS or UFI, or GPT partition scheme for UEFI. So in case the most appropriate and what I would recommend most people is to create a bootable disk for MBR partition scheme for BIOS or UEFI. The main reason why I'm saying you use the first one, I have one. It has one advantage. In case your operating system happens to crash, you can be able to recover your files. You can be able to recover everything, because you just need to install an operating system in a partition where the other operating system was running from. Then all the other partitions will be saved. But in case you happen to use what you call the GPT partition scheme for UEFI, it will help you'll be able to create so many partitions depending on your needs. But the problem is, in case your system happen to crash, you can lose everything. It will not be able to create a backup. So the best thing and the most my best recommendation is use option 1, which is MBR partition scheme for BIOS or UEFI. Then from there we have the file system. This is a format mode, and we are going to use that is FAT32, which is our default. Then from there we have cluster size 16 kilobytes. That one is okay, so you don't need to adjust anything. Then from there we need to proceed to selecting the ISO file. So you just need to click this icon here, which will help you to proceed to navigate. That is where you have saved that ISO file, and this is my Windows 11 ISO file. So I just need to select. I have the first ISO file, I have another ISO file, but for this case I'm going to create ISO files using this version of Windows 11. Then click open. And when you click open, now I have already loaded that is my Windows 11 ISO file in my RAFAS. That is my program that I'm going to use, that is to create bootable disk. Then from there, for you to be able to start the process, you need to click start. And the moment you just click start, you receive a warning that all data on your device will be destroyed. To continue with this process operation, click OK. So what this notification is telling you is that in case you have any files that are stored into your flash disk, the flash disk will be formatted. So in case you have any important file, you can just do a backup, because everything will be erased. But for my case, I don't have anything that I have stored in that is on my flash drive, so I can just click OK so that the process can actually start. And now you can see the process has already started, and the PC, the flash drive, that is the flash drive, is already, the system is already running, and you can see it has already started within a duration of, that is between 5 minutes to 20 minutes. It will be done. That is mostly depending, but mostly it still depends with your PC speed, the processing speed. So in case your PC is faster, you can just take just a few minutes, like 5 minutes, and it will be done. In case your PC is slow, it can take even up to 30 minutes. So let's give the system quite some time so it will complete, that is creating a bootable disk. And after the system is done, you can see now the setup is complete. So all you need to do is just click this close button. And the moment you just close that, you click the close button, now everything is complete. Then from there you can proceed to your PC, that is to your file manager, to your file explorer. Then from there you can see now you can see here we have been able to create a bootable disk, that is Windows 11 64 bits. And you can see, let's open inside and see the total space. You can highlight, then right click and go to properties, and you can see, for example, this one has taken a total space of 6.82 GB. That's the reason why this just almost close to 7 GB. That's the reason why I was saying that you need at least a 7 GB space, at least a space of 7 GB space. So then after you are done, don't just remove your flash disk. All you need to do is just eject, because you might just remove your flash disk without ejecting. Then it happens that either your flash disk or the Windows 11 is distorted. So the best thing to do is eject. So make sure you eject, especially if you have for the other cases, if there are no important files, you can just remove the flash disk without ejecting. But in case you have created a bootable Windows 11, you have to eject that flash disk. So that's all I had for today, guys. Kindly don't forget to like and subscribe, and in the next video I'll be creating now how you can be able to use now the bootable disk that we have just created and now install a window, that is Windows 11, in a new machine. That's all I have for today. Goodbye.